Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day so far. My name is Phil, and usually I do guitar related or music related reviews and demos and showcases. But in today's video, I want to do something a little bit differently because a lot of people have asked me if I can do some sort of vlog setup where I'm taking the Dimehead NAM player with me and just showing how I'm using it in a rehearsal and gigging context. And this is what this video is all about. So I'm just going to film myself how I'm going to set up the pedal over here in the rehearsal room since I took it with me at home. You can see already our beautiful rehearsal space over here. Very nice and cozy. Yeah, we're going to just check it out, how it works out, how it sounds. You know, this is not going to be like sophisticated demos with microphones and what else not. So this is not going to be super clear audio in that respect. But I just kind of want to take you along the way, how it works. And yeah, I just want to make a point on how seamless it works because I'm a huge fan of Dimehead's NAM player. The capabilities, the routing flexibility which it has, and the sound which it kind of brings out, man, depending on the capture of course, but I got some good captures which I put on there. It sounds really phenomenal. So yeah, I'm just going to take you with on the ride. Hopefully we can do some recordings today with the entire band where we're going to use our in-ear monitoring mixer in order to do some recordings, and then we're going to also have some cool audio going on instead of only shitty smartphone audio. So let's roll that intro clip and I get into some rock and rolling. So future video editing Phil over here. I got a confession to make. Unfortunately, there's no footage of the gig which we played after, so this is going to be a rehearsal only vlog style video. The reason for that is simply when we go out and play gigs, I'm the organizational head of the band, and I had so much on my mind and things did not went well, from a planning perspective, so I had to completely focus on getting the gig running, and that unfortunately was the last gig which we're playing with the band for a very long time, so perhaps we're going to just play somewhere around next year, end of next year, when we finished recording our album. So that means, unfortunately, I have no gigging material with the NAM player where I can showcase how this works. However, everything which I am showing in regards of the rehearsal setup over there also applies, of course, to gigging. It is loud enough, it sounds awesome, and you get the full audio. All right, let's continue with the video. All right, so here we got the case, the suitcase where my pedal board is in there. We're here at the rehearsal room. I got my nice and sexy socks on. This is one of the benefits if you're not 20 anymore. You're not basically playing in a shithole, but you're actually taking care of your rehearsal room over here, at least in our case. Yeah, so let's see what we got in this pedal board suitcase over here. This is my pedal board. Nice. I love this thing so much. Okay, what do we got over here? We basically got the Line 6 G10S, which goes then to the Mark Tremonti wah, which is an incredibly sounding wah. That then goes into the NAM player, which is kind of basically my preamp, my lead boost, my modulation. Everything is basically contained in this unit. Then that goes out of this out to this EQ over here, which is just setting up the volume a little bit louder, as you can see over here, because the output of the NAM player is a little bit quiet to my taste, and that then goes to my Harley Benton GPA 100. So in parallel, the Dimehead is sending out two signals. It's sending out one signal which is going over here to the Yo-Yo Band controller and then to the Harley Benton, to the cabinet, and then the DI out is an XLR out, which takes the entire signal chain into consideration, and that goes to front of house, to in-ear monitoring, to whatever else you want to set up. So this over here has no IR loaded, this over here has an IR loaded. This kind of flexibility is why the NAM player is the best unit on the market currently. This over here is just a MIDI baby toggle switch by Disaster Area, and that triggers basically a toggling between two channels over here. Yeah, so pretty straightforward. This over here is my custom-made box over here with some picks. Always handy to have them over here. Yeah, so let's plug in this bad boy and see what it sounds like. Nice thing about this pedal board is also it's super lightweight. Like I can basically literally carry this with one hand around. This was not so easily possible with my previous pedal board, so that's a nice extra over here. So I'm gonna go over here at my rehearsal room spot, which is exactly over here, and I'm gonna place everything up, cable up everything, and then we're gonna move on with the video. All right, let's go over here. So got everything prepared over here in my rehearsal room over here. Where is that? Let me tilt the camera a little bit so you can see a little bit more what's going on. Yeah, I got everything set up over here cable-wise. I got my speaker cable, which is going to my Marshall 4x12 right there. Then I got my XLR cable, which is going to our in-ear monitoring rack, which I already made a video of. So that goes into here. And then we only got the power left. Plug that in. Boom, we are ready to go. Now, basically, I just take my wireless thingy, plug it into my Line 6 G10, and make sure that they are intercoupled and connected. And you already can see that everything has loaded. Let me grab that camera, and then I'm gonna show you my setting. Yeah, so I got two presets over here, which I mainly use over here. Let me try to go back over here. I'm gonna switch back and forth. So the meaty baby over here, whenever I press that, it triggers a toggle between two presets, which you can see. They are the 5150 boosted by the Lichtlam Audio King in Yellow on the lead preset and on the rhythm preset. Now, the cool thing about the NAM player is that we have this stage mode. So when you are on stage and you really want to know what's going on, you can see that in big fat letters. This is incredibly useful if you just kind of want to get a quick glance, like, okay, 3. I know 3 is my rhythm preset, and I know 4 is my lead preset. So there's that. That's pretty handy. That's pretty cool. I'm a big fan. Let's listen to what it sounds like just through the smartphone speakers or the smartphone microphone. So normally our rehearsals are silent rehearsals. So we are just using our in-ear monitoring over here. So we got our in-ear earbuds, which we're just plugging in. And we are having everything set to silent except for the drums. Obviously, they are, of course, just normal acoustic drums, but we mic'd them up. We mic'd up the different toms, the snare. The kick is going through a trigger anyways, and we got overheads, which are kind of capturing the cymbals. And all of that is going to our in-ear mixer, and that goes in turn to our ears. However, since I got the capability through the Harley Benton GPA 100, I can run this thing through a power amp, you know, like in parallel. So this guitar is heavily out of tune. I'm gonna make sure that it's in tune, and then we can proceed, and I'm gonna riff a little bit. Now, for anybody interested in what I'm using as a tuner, I'm not using the integrated dime head NAM player tuner. I could easily do that, but I really love the TC Electronic. In my case, it's the Unitune. So there's the Polytune, which kind of captures all of the strings at once. I don't like that much. Doesn't work so good for me. But I really like the actual tuning capability of that unit, and the Unitune is perfect for that. It's super fast. It's super accurate. It gets me exactly where I need to be. Okay. Let me turn the power amp up here a little bit, and let's thrash a little bit. All right, now let me grab my trusty ear protection over here because we don't want to get deaf. I'm gonna crank the power amp nearly to its maximum, and I'm gonna also crank the EQ a little bit so that it's like super loud. Yeah, so this is what the pedal sounds like. I got some other presets, like a clean preset, which I don't use in the band context. However, it's there. want to have a little bit more of a crunch sound, then I got that as well over here. I really suck at playing that kind of music. All right, so this is what the pedal basically sounds like. I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna record our rehearsal today through the in-ear monitoring mix, so you can hear how the pedal kind of sounds like through the IR, which I loaded in, and kind of in the context of that entire band mix. Of course, I'm gonna mix this myself, so it's gonna sound horrible. Just be aware of that, you know. But I'm gonna do my best to kind of let the pedal shine in that respect. All right, I now got everything set up for recording, just to showcase what we got over here. Small laptop, which is kind of, you know, not really good laptop. I mean, it's from 2014 or something. Let me just showcase what we got over here so that you kind of get a grasp of what's going on over here. So, we got everything set up in individual tracks so that the XR18 from Behringer is sending those signals to this PC over here. And as you can see, when I play the guitar, it definitely comes over there. So all the things which I do is I basically just go ahead and yeah, I press on record. And there we go. Now everything is recording, as you can see. And if I just play my guitar over here, it's making now all kind of noise because I'm close to the laptop. But here you can clearly see all the tracks are now being recorded, and now I can go ahead and actually, you know, record the band while we are rehearsing. So, you know, having these kind of capabilities in, you know, 2024 is absolutely miraculous. If I would have thought about that like 10 years ago of having this kind of setup, I would call you crazy. But you know, technically you could now go ahead and record a full live session of the band, which is basically what we're doing from every now and then with the rehearsals, but we're not releasing them because we suck. So you now have seen my rig over here, but I just want to kind of give you a quick rundown of the entire band. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. So you already saw my board. I got basically the line 6 into the wah, into the NAM player dime head, into the EQ, into the power amp with the switcher. We're going over to Simon's setup over here, which consists of the line 6 G10S. That then goes into the Tonix pedal, which is working absolutely fantastic. No reason to complain. That then goes into this EQ over here, which is basically his solo boost. Then he got his chorus over here, the Corona chorus, which is doing an excellent job for some, you know, spacey parts. And yeah, that then, the Tonix signal is basically splitted between either running through this impulse response loader and then into the DI box, into the mixer console, or that is going then to the Thunder 99 power amp, and that in turn is going to Simon's orange 2x12 with vintage 30s, while my cabinet is over here, the Marshall 1960 AV with vintage 30s. However, as I said before, we're doing everything in a silent setup. Yeah, Gabo's drum kit is over here. I think it's the Sonar Force 3000 with a plethora of different cymbals. No specific brand, but he likes a lot the T cymbals actually, and also some Sabian stuff. Daniel's bass setup is now also a pedalboard only setup. He is using the line 6 G10-2. That goes into the Sans Amp bass driver DI. That then in turn goes into the Solid Studio, and that then has also the Electric Lady or the E-Lady from Moore over here, and then also this EQ in order to give him a boost for some particular places within the set. He got his tuner over here as well, and his signal is then going into the Solid Studio Nux, which is an IR loader. That then goes into the iBox, and that then in turn all goes into our Behringer XR18, which I already presented in another video where I explained the signal flow. So all of this stuff is, you know, basically pedalboard only setups, making our lives super easy when it comes to gigging. Yeah, and you know, it's super easy. You just have like 3 suitcases, a little bit extra for the cables which we're using, having the rack, the small rack, the 5U rack of the mixer. Yeah, and that's kind of already it. Of course, you have some additional stuff, some additional overhead, but no cabinets, no heavy amplifiers, no nothing in that regard. And the pedal boards we would have to anyways bring with us for the effects which we would be using. So, you know, this is a godsend. Playing this kind of setup is so easy. It sounds amazing. A lot of people compliment our tones. A lot of sound engineers are really happy with the results which you're getting because we have like the silent stage setup. It works immaculate. I can only recommend to anybody who's a little bit nerdy and into this kind of technology, do yourself a favor and build up such a setup for your band. Your gas bills will basically thank me later. Just for anybody out there who's asking if this setup can compete against a metal drummer, let's find out. Great filter. And there you have it, the NAM player by Dimehead in a rehearsal situation, in a rehearsal context. I really thought it sounded amazing, especially with the tonics on the other side by Simon, using a profile of the JVM, which is right behind me. They just really blend in together well, but I really like the NAM player for the flexibility in regard of its outputs, that you have all of the effects which you need contained in the unit over here. This is really cool. I could basically take this with me to a gig, and knowing that we have like a monitoring setup, and I could just play with this. I don't need anything else. I could go out to the front of house with this, and then I could also potentially use anything which we got over there power amp wise and cabinet wise and run that through that. So this is a really cool thing which can make your life extremely easier. I'm really a big fan. I'm not affiliated with Dimehead. I'm not obliged to say this over here. I'm just an, product enthusiast, basically. So, what do you thought about the tones which we were getting at the rehearsal? What do you think about the setup which we got in general? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like what you saw, then please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and let me know down below what you are rocking on stage. Are you still using amp heads? Are you using combos? Or maybe also some floorboard units? What are you using? What are you rocking to? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Gonna see you in the next video, and until then, keep it metal.